Truth is not what politics is about. Politics is about feelings. What is that? That's the misinformed views on immigration, crime, and the economy correlated with ballot choice. They ask a question. If you get the question right, we determine who you voted for. And if you get the question wrong, then we ask you who you voted for, and then we put all the numbers up on the screen. That's what we're looking at. Here's the question. Violent crime rates are at a near all-time high in most major American cities. That is not a true statement. But the people who got it wrong voted red. The people who got it correct voted blue. Interesting. Next question. Inflation in the U.S. has declined over the last year and is near historic averages. True. The people who got it wrong voted red. The people who got it correct voted blue. Starting to see a theme here. Question number 3. The U.S. stock market is at a near all-time high. That is a true statement. The people who got it wrong voted red. The people who got it correct voted blue. Interesting. Over the last few months, unauthorized border crossings at the U.S.-Mexico border are at or near the lowest level in the last few years. That is a true statement. The people who got it wrong voted red. The people who got it correct voted blue. What is this suggesting? It is suggesting that the people who get things right and know things and are informed are the people who are voting blue. The people who don't know what's going on, the people who are uninformed, the people who don't know what's happening are voting red for Donald Trump, because he doesn't live in a factual world. His ideas, his policies, his suggestions don't work with reality. They're not intended to be part of reality. They are just based on his feelings, his fears, his ideas on what the world is and what it ought to be. Doesn't matter where the numbers lie. It doesn't matter what the facts are. He just needs you to feel. He just needs you to believe that things are terrible and that he can fix them. If you hear it often enough, then you'll believe it. All politics are based on feelings, including the economy, including the feelings about immigration. We can measure the economy, sure, but it's based on feelings. You can measure how many people came across the border, but the choices we make about those laws are based on how we feel about the people who were there. If we feel like they're nightmare monsters, then we'll create laws and over-exaggerate how they're coming in and what crimes they're committing, and over-exaggerate that they're eating the cats and the dogs. They're eating the cats and the dogs. If you don't care about facts, you'll repeat that, perhaps into a camera, perhaps into in a debate. You'll say they're eating the cats and the dogs. It's not true, and it doesn't matter. Truth is not what politics is about. Politics is about feelings. The law is written by politics and politicians, sure. And that's usually, if we're lucky and if everything is working properly, settled in a courtroom where facts are king. I'm worried that won't be the future that we're headed towards. The feelings that you have towards the immigrants dictate who you're going to vote for, because the politicians will run on those feelings. All politics is based on feelings, so they will hear your feelings or they will give them to you. That's usually what I think I get from the right. When the right wing tells you, they generally tell you what to feel, or they lead you down that path. Hey, here they come. They're going to steal all your jobs. They're going to steal your unemployment. They're going to steal your jobs and your unemployment at the same time. They're welfare queens living on driving Cadillacs, having anchor babies, and it leads you to be afraid. And because you're afraid, you vote for them. Now, that is their plan, generally. It is the plan that I see from them most often. But then they get in charge, and then they write the laws. They pass the laws through the legislature, and then the judges uphold those laws. Those laws, hopefully, if we're working properly, are in a court where facts matter. That's happening less often. I think the right is actually pushing for judges who do their judicial work. They judge based on feelings rather than facts. If the politician can create a law based on feelings, then they can hire a judge to judge on those feelings. And I think that's what worries me. This was a thing back in the Weimar Republic. They had a regular judicial system, and they had like an extrajudicial system that was about loyalty to the state, about how you felt about the state. And if you were talking shit about the state, they put you in front of these fake judges, and the fake judges put you in real jail. I'm worried that's where we're headed. I'm worried that's the direction we're taking, and that's why I'm complaining all the time. But I'm rambling and I'm ranting. It helps to know things. Well, that was the point I was trying to get to.
Pressing the thumbs up button will release chemicals in your human brain that will make you feel.
It helps to know things. Knowing things helps you decide where to go. Knowing that the violent crime rate is not at an all-time high helps you make decisions. It makes you feel things, and it helps you determine what you ought to do in the future. If you base your feelings, and that's a feeling too, knowing that violent crime is not at an all-time high gives me a feeling that we're doing something right. Let's keep doing it. That's how that should operate. Knowing what's real is going to give you feelings, and then you can decide on your politics based on those feelings. That's fine. That's normal. But having fake information, false ideas, incorrect opinions, incorrect data given to you, fed to you, forced into your brain, will lead you to the wrong conclusions that could cause harm. If you just had a bad opinion about a Star Wars movie, I wouldn't be bothered by it, honestly. That doesn't affect normal, everyday laws that I have to follow. But if you have an incorrect idea about violent crime, that could affect me. That will get someone elected who will change the laws, and it could harm me. If you have an incorrect opinion about a Star Wars movie, that doesn't really affect the laws of the world. And I think this gets down to the fact that very few people can differentiate opinion from belief, from idea, from thoughts. And I talk about that all the time. Given the recent election turnout, knowing things doesn't mean shit. I know. Knowing things is for nerds. And 10 past 11 has an entire political theory that I subscribe to, that knowing stuff is nerd shit. Math is nerd shit. Knowing things, nerd shit. We don't want to be a part of that. And that's where most people are within the country. Do you have political opinions? I don't know. I'm just off the top of my head. None of this is planned, and I'm just flying from the seat of my pants here. Do people have political opinions? I don't know. I don't like that word, opinion, being used for. I totally on board for. You have an opinion about the latest Harry Potter movie. Great. You sure do. So do I. I have an opinion about the Harry Potter movie. I didn't care for it. I have an opinion about the Star Wars movies. Some of them I like and some of them I don't. We love the nerd shit, but we all love to make fun of nerds. Yeah, it's complicated. The duality of man, it's very difficult. And that gets into philosophy, and I would have to put my philosophy hat on. But we're not talking philosophy just yet. Can you have an opinion about crime rates? I don't know. I think you can have, what other word is there for that? You can have thoughts about the crime rates. You can have beliefs about crime rates. I think you can have a belief about crime rates. That belief can be wrong. You can look at those numbers. You can look at the crime rate and see the dip and say, oh, well, I don't feel like that's correct. I believe it's higher. I believe the FBI is lying to us, and it's actually much, much higher than it actually is. That leads you to a belief. That's not an opinion anymore. That's a belief. Can you have an opinion? I don't know. I think you can have an idea or a thought. I think we should honestly only use the word opinion. I think we should only use the word opinion for subjective things. And that's what I'll try and do. I think language is complicated, and it's part of the issue that we're having. Language is about communication. Communication is about feelings, and politics is about feelings. Communicating is an important part of politics, and it's an important part of what we're doing at any given time. I think belief is the data you think is real, and the opinion part is just what you think of that, whether it's good or bad or something. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting to. Maybe should we use the word opinion here? I don't know. I'm making all this up off the top of my head. Should we use the word opinion when we're discussing crime rates? I have the opinion that we should pay for more police. Well, okay. Well, that is a political opinion, I suppose. It's a political thought. It's a political prescription, perhaps. But opinion, I think we should leave just into the subjective, non-political world. Just my idea. I could be very wrong about this. That the only time you should use the word opinion is when you're talking about the latest Joker movie. I did not like the latest Joker movie. Great. Well, that's an opinion. I think we should pay police more with taxes. Is that an opinion? It's a prescription.
I am the algorithm. Click on this video to make me happy. You wouldn't like me when I am angry.